We are in Henderson, Nevada, suburbs of Las Vegas. If I walk here out of the shade, it's about 105 degrees. 11 stop my training camp tour. We got 5 takeaways from Raiders camp. First takeaway, Geno Smith looks very, very comfortable, and it has to do with more than just his reunion with Pete Carroll. That, of course, is part of it. And he's been a great leader and torchbearer thus far for Carroll. But it's also about where he's at with Chip Kelly. Geno told me that Chip might be the best offensive coordinator that he's had as a pro. That's going to have to prove itself out when the lights come on and the games are played. But the structure of the offense really fits Geno. He said he loves how he simplified things in the players. He's taken some of the mental load off of them, got those guys playing fast while still giving them answers for anything a defense could throw at them. And Geno does have some background with Chip. He was recruited by him out of high school, and he got a close look at the Chip Kelly offense last year at Ohio State because his cousin, Jeremiah Smith, was, of course, a star receiver for the national champion Buckeyes. So far, so good with Geno Smith as a Vegas Raider. Takeaway number 2, Ashton Jeanty has come as advertised. All the stuff that was obvious to all of the coaches and scouts who evaluated him, all that stuff's there. The contact balance, his ability to hide behind his linemen as a shorter, more compact player and get past defenders before they can even see him. His ability to take a 10-yard run, turn it into a 50-yard run, all that stuff is there. What's been a little surprising to the coaches is how quickly he's adjusted in the passing game. Pass pro is something that can prevent young players at that position from getting on the field early in their careers. And it's something that Ashton Jeanty, as a college player, like a lot of great backs, didn't do a ton of in college, but he's taken to it right away. His physical style of running has translated to how he's done as a blocker. And he looks very natural catching the ball too. So there's no reason why Ashton Jeanty shouldn't be a 3-down back right out of the box. I'd be surprised if he wasn't very, very productive as a rookie. Takeaway number 3, a nice surprise on the roster for the coaches has been the linebacker position. Now Pat Graham is back as the defensive coordinator, so he knows what he's got in Landon Roberts. Pete Carroll's been impressed with Roberts as a leader and a kind of a guy that can be the nerve center of a defense. But they also have a bunch of newcomers at the position. Jermaine Pratt comes over from Cincinnati, smart, savvy, physical, a guy who can play on the line of scrimmage. Then you got Jamal Adams, who was with Pete Carroll in Seattle. He's now a full-time linebacker, has taken to his role there. And then you have an interesting one in Devin White, who was with the general manager, John Spytek, in Tampa. He's had a down couple of years, but what they're seeing from Devin White is a guy who's motivated to prove people wrong and looks like he's reignited his passion for football. So that linebacker group, again, a nice surprise here in training camp, should be the strength of the defense. Takeaway number 4, the roster is still probably a good offseason away, and that means there are a lot of questions they're going to have to answer between now and their opener in New England in week 1. So a couple to focus on. One is at receiver and what they're going to get out of that receiver position. Jacoby Myers is a reliable slot weapon. You can see Geno's already relying on him in practice. But what happens at the other spots up for grabs? Trey Tucker's got a lot of speed. There are signs that maybe they're going to be able to get more out of him, and having a quarterback in Geno Smith who can unlock some of his downfield ability. Jack Besh, their day 2 pick out of TCU will be in that equation as well. But because of the lack of depth at receiver, expect to see the 2 tight end looks a lot more here with both Brock Bowers, who's already a star, already one of the best tight ends in the league, and Michael Mayer on the field together quite a bit. The other big questions at defensive tackle, obviously the drama with Christian Wilkins is now over. Christian Wilkins is now gone, but that's left a void at the position. So Adam Butler, a veteran player, is going to be part of that mix. Leki Fotu, another player who's had a strong camp, he'll be part of that mix. But there are lots of roles on the interior of the defensive line up for grabs. You see Tyree Wilson, the former first-round pick, moving inside a bunch too. Those are 2 spots where you could also see the Raiders maybe adding a player or 2 later in camp, that receiver spot and the defensive tackle spot. Finally, takeaway number 5, this is Pete Carroll's program. And you can feel it when you walk in there. You can feel it with the tempo in practice. You can feel it with how fast they're going. I had people tell me this is actually maybe one of their sloppier practices, and you can still see the efficiency with which they're working. So I don't know that this is a team that's going to be a real threat in the AFC West in 2025, as strong as the division is. But it would not surprise me if Pete Carroll has this team as one you don't want to play if you're a contender late in the year. They have the look of a team that's going to be a really tough out once we get to November and December, and could be a spoiler for some of the contenders in the AFC. Appreciate all you guys checking out all these videos. We are headed off to Denver now. That'll be our 12th training camp stop. We'll see you from there on Saturday.